Hello my friends, today we're going to talk about right-handed, left-handed guitars, right? It's mainly a lesson that is going to interest beginners, because for those people who've already started to play with one guitar or another, left or right, then they're probably too far down the line to realise they've made a massive cock up. Now, why do I want to talk about this? Well, a lot of my students, like me, are left-handed. You know, everything I do left-handed, except for right, because my dad insisted that I write with my right hand, and I also play guitar right-handed because my dad again taught me to play right-handed, because that's how he played. Now, for me as a left-handed person, and this is the bit that I want people to understand before they go out rushing off to spend hundreds of dollars more, hundreds of pounds more on a left-handed guitar. As a left-handed person, playing what is called a right-handed guitar, like this, you know, the one you always see me playing, feels really natural to me, because my left hand is the stronger of the two by a long way. So for me, when I went to play the guitar, the strongest hand is required to press down the chord shapes, you know, which, as you'll all know, even seasoned players, it can hurt, you know, depending on what chord you're playing, particularly chords like F or bar chords. So as a left-handed person, and my left hand being naturally stronger because I do everything with it, it made perfect sense to play the guitar that my dad had, which was called a right-handed guitar. I don't know why they call it right-handed, presumably because you strum with your right hand. Now, funnily enough, when I'm in a recording studio and I play percussion, you know, tambourine, shakers, all that sort of stuff, depending on what we did, I always use my left hand. Doesn't really, you know, I just naturally go for the left hand, and I can do it wonderfully, you know, as in it's in time. If I try to do it with the other hand, it's okay, but it's not as good, even though I strum guitar with the right hand. So today's little chat and demonstration, and there is going to be a demonstration, is the benefits of left or right-handed. So now for me, the downside of buying a left-handed guitar is the financial one. You know, you're paying a lot more money for something that's going to be, it's not going to benefit you if you're a beginner. When you start to play, taking it right back, when I started to play, or most of you chaps out there, chapesses, when you start to play, both hands have no idea what they're doing. And as we know, both hands need to know what to do in order for the guitar to sound good. You know, one hand playing well without the other one is a waste of time, and vice versa. So if I was going to play, for example, a couple of things that I teach my students to play, just to give them something to do, to get them started, so they can go home and say, listen to this. And a couple of dead easy chords like E minor, for example. I'll use a pleck. Shouldn't use a pleck on an island guitar. I'll do it for demonstration purposes. So I would show them how to play something like this. Change it from an E minor to an A major, say, or say let's go from E minor to an A minor. So E minor, A minor, and I'll bleat onto them about how easy that is, and you'll have heard me saying it. So what do you do? And I'll flippantly say something like, you just move your hand up and down, and that's what strumming is. And I'd be quite right telling myself that. But of course, over the years, I've got to know how much pressure to apply to the pleck. I've got used to how to move the left hand in order that it doesn't fluff up and all that sort of stuff. So I thought the other day, I borrowed the guitar off one of my left-handed students, Al, his name is. Thank you, Al. And this is the guitar. It's a lovely guitar. Now I struggled just to figure out which leg to put it on. So I'm going to try and play the two chords that I've just played for you. Now you've got to bear in mind that I know exactly in my head what I'm trying to tell my hands to do. When you're beginning, you don't even know that. So I already know roughly where my fingers go, you know, on this hand. And I've got hold of the pleck, and I swear to God I'm going to try and play this as best as I can. So the strumming it's going to sound, I hope nobody's tuning in just now, they'll say that Fenner guy's shit. Hang on, so here we go, E minor. at that point, I'd say, you know what, you can stuff that guitar, mate. I'm going to go and learn to play the flute. I'll try it again. E minor. I swear to God, I'm trying, and I know what I'm supposed to do, and I can feel my irritation building. What did I say? Come off on the upstroke. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 off. 1 and 2, 4 off. 1. Can't do it. Can't do it. And at that point, like most of you out there, if you begin, you'd give up. Okay, now pick it up with the other hand. You know, everything's right. Everything's right. So the point I'm making is, it doesn't matter whether you're left-handed, right-handed, or whatever. When you're starting off to play, it makes absolutely no difference what guitar you've got in your hand, left-handed, right-handed. I would always say, just get what they call a right-handed guitar. All right, a right-handed guitar, even if you're left-handed, because your left hand is the one that's going to be required to press the chords down. So for me, it makes perfect sense. In fact, I think a left-handed person playing on a right-handed guitar, I think they've got an advantage from the get-go. Now, if you look on the internet, you will see little devices and gadgets that they sell now in order to strengthen the left hand, because of course most right-handed guitar players or right-handed people, their left hand will be the weaker of the two. So they sell these gadgets now to make your left hand stronger, and I think they're pretty dangerous, really, because you can do your tendons in and all that. You need your hand to be strong to a point, but you don't want it to be you don't want to end up damaging your fingers and hurting your tendons and all that. So I think that forget about those things, they're not going to help you at all. But it proves a point that if they're trying to get you to strengthen your left hand, doesn't it make sense for a left-handed player or left-handed person to buy a right-handed guitar? Because your left hand's already strong enough to hold the chords down. And with regard to the strumming, then, as I've just demonstrated, even though I know in my head exactly what these hands are supposed to be doing, I couldn't do it because they're not trained. Now you have to treat guitar as you would treat any sport. It takes time. You've got to repetitively go over and over and over something until you're sick of it, and only when you're sick of it is it likely to be anywhere near good enough to perform. So I would, we've done, I'm going to keep going back to this left-handed guitar. I teach people this Travis picking pattern, and I say quite confidently, and I mean it, that if you just do this, outer, inner, outer, in, and listen for that percussion, eventually, and it's true, eventually, you'll get it right. Now I'm saying that, knowing that for me, it's a walk in the park, I don't even think about it, and then I'll say, well, we'll put a chord to that, like an A minor. Okay, so let's try that again. Now this should be fun. I'm going to try it again with this left-handed guitar. Again, I'm going to struggle to figure out what leg to rest it on. I'm going to play, well, I'll mute the strings like I did before. So, I know what I've got to do. I know what the strings are. And I'm going to go outer, inner, outer, inner. Actually, it's not too bad. Outer, inner, outer, and I would chant. Now remember, I know in my head what I've got to do. A beginner doesn't. I can't do it. Right, let's go to the A minor. I'll see if I can get a tune out of this thing. Can't even hold the bloody string. Show me how to play it, will you? I'm starting to whimper. Why won't that ring out? My fingers are sore. Do your fingers get sore? So, what I actually do sometimes, just to remind myself when I'm, teaching somebody how to play something, and they struggle with it, and they should struggle with it because playing the guitar is really hard, much harder than the piano, then I will sometimes, you know, if I get an opportunity, I'll pick up a left-handed guitar and I'll try to play that, and it reminds me of just how difficult learning to play the guitar is, you know. But the point is, eventually you will learn to play. That's the thing. I don't want to put anyone off, because, you know, with a bit of practice, if I played that for a month, you know, and I followed the advice that I give you and watch this, eventually my fingers would toughen up. You know, it would just become, you know, with hours and hours of practice, it would become second nature, and I'd probably be able to sling a tune together within maybe a month or two, you know. But it does take that long in order to get it together. But the point of this particular video is to encourage those people who may be new to the channel, new to playing guitar, not to spend a fortune on a left-handed guitar. You don't see left-handed pianos, you don't see left-handed mobile, you don't see left-handed this, that and the other. You know, it's just a way for the guitar builders to charge you a few $100, few £100 more, you know. And in my opinion, if you're left-handed, you have an advantage over right-handed players, because your left hand is the one that needs the strength to hold the chords down. All right, so if you're left-handed, buy a right-handed guitar. Okay, and don't think, oh, you won't be able to strum as well. You've just said, I can't strum it. I'm left. I can't strum either. You know, because you can't. No one can do any of that, whether you're left-handed or right-handed, because it's really hard to do. Okay, and again, just the other excuse people make is, excuse me, got an itch. The other excuse people make is if they can't do it, oh, my fingers are too short or they're too fat. Well, Django Reinhardt, he only had 2 fingers, you know, and he didn't do badly, did he? So, you know, all that's a myth. Some of my favourite guitar players are women, you know, female classical guitarists. You listen, you know, Anna Vidovic and all these people, they're absolutely brilliant players. And what makes them able to press all these really hard, complicated chords down? They've got the right technique. They've got a nice guitar, obviously, but they also have the technique right as well. So usually if you find that you can't do something or you can't press the strings down, it's usually some daft little thing that's stopping you from doing it. But, you know, look at all my previous vids for beginners and all that, if you are a beginner watching this, and take heart from the fact that you're not alone by not being able to do these things straight away. As I've just demonstrated, I've been playing since I was 5 years old. I started on the ukulele, and I still can't play it the other way around, you know. In fact, I'll probably, you know what, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. If I started now, and that was all I could do, I'd probably give up. And as I say again, in my head, I know exactly what I should have been doing, you know, but I just can't, because my hands aren't trained yet to do it. All right, so go out and buy, all you lefties, a right-handed guitar, and save the extra bit of money to go and, I don't know, do something nice with it. Right, what am I going to play next? What are we going to do next? Let's have a think. What do you reckon? We should really probably do some more strumming. I'm open to suggestions. I might do Malaguena, actually. You know that one that I've just done? That's quite a nice one. See the way it does? So I can see some of you thinking that's too hard, or that stretch. Well, we could maybe do it like this. There's always a way of making something a bit easier. That's always a nice, easy thing to do. Right, listen, I'm going to get off. I'm going to think about what we're going to do. I'll put the next tutorial, proper one, together for the weekend. In the meantime, thank you very much for all your support. I'm about 10 off 25,000 now. So if you're feeling generous, folks, get one of your mates. If every one of you out there watching this got one of your mates to subscribe, I'd have 50,000 subscribers by tomorrow morning. All right, and I'll be elated. I know that's not going to happen. So, but in the meantime, just spread the word, get people to look at the stuff. Remember, everything on the channel is 100% free. I'm never going to charge you anything. I enjoy doing this. All the paperwork, if you look back at the other vids and all that sort of stuff, they're all there waiting for you to download. Again, they're all free. All right, on that note, I'm going to have something to eat now. All right, and I'm going to try and practice my left-handed guitar. I might actually do it as a project to see how I get on, and every month I'll show you how I'm getting on. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just talking shit. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to just stick where I know. That's the best way. Okay, forget it. I'll see you next time. You look after yourselves. Bye bye for now.